Okay. Are we live?
Hello. I think so. I'm going to double check. We should be
Okay.
good.
Well, if you go and double check, I can jump in and
Yep.
just give people an overview of what we're trying to accomplish here. Welcome, everyone. We are super excited actually to do this. We've been talking about this challenge and the goals we have for the group. Jen and I have talked about working together on things many times before. It just didn't work just because I had my own businesses. She had, her own life. But recently we reconnected and we wanted to build a challenge and we wanted to start building content to help people who really want to take any skills they have and turn those skills into assets. And it doesn't, and money. It doesn't have to be like, when I say skill, don't think of something like a graphic design skill or you have to be an expert at something. Um, anything, often a lot of things that we have access to, we take for granted and we don't realize that those things can actually make us money. So I want to reframe the whole conversation before we go over the structure for this week's challenge, and just make a couple of points about the fact that not just skills, sometimes just knowing the right person at the right time can end up in making you money. And I have connected people in the past who have worked together and they wanted to pay me before connecting them. So you don't have to be an expert at something. You don't have to have a lot of capital. Often, or we know, we have a network of people that we know, and we could be able to connect different people and make money off of it. So the purpose of this week is to talk about the options and possibilities. We want to make you. Well, I guess motivate you, encourage you,
Mhm.
energize you to start thinking about what you have in your backyard to use in order to make money. And that's the purpose of this challenge. We have stuff prepared. We might pivot and change, adjust as needed based on questions we get.
Mhm.
But overall, our goal is to talk today about a short exercise you can do in order to discover what you know, what you have access to. And all of those skills, assets can be turned into income and money. So, tomorrow we'll talk about what's holding people back, what is holding you back from turning that skill or asset into money. On day three, we're going to talk about how to turn that thing into money, or how to turn what you know into something that's valuable for other people. Day four, we're going to talk about specifics, just different things we can do to make it happen, right? If I have something in my backyard, a skill, a relationship, access to capital, maybe, how am I going to turn that into money? How am I going to monetize it? We'll talk about just a couple of small, simple examples. And then day five, we're going to talk about a case study. We talk, right, day four, make it happen. Day five, watch it happen. So that's the goal for us. And Jenny, do you want to add anything to the structure I just mentioned?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be here, and you guys, don't you just love Delia? I love Delia. I love sitting with you. I wish that we were closer, but the times that we've gotten to hang out have just been amazing, and excited to do this. Mostly for lots of reasons, but one thing I'm very excited about is um, just your passion to help people take action and want to see them succeed, not just take action and spin their wheels, but actually take action that moves people forward. And that's certainly something I share as well. And so also you have this unique perspective that I really appreciate, and it helps me think differently. And I'm just excited, guys. Things are always better when you partner with people. They just are. You bring there's more facets to it. And so I'm excited. But what we're going to be doing this week, it's 5 days. Delia went over the topics, but the format is, I think at the end of our time, we'll do a video every day just talking about it. It'll be later in the afternoon after that video. So after this video today, we're going to be posting some things in the group that'll help prepare you for tomorrow. Okay. So you're gonna, I don't want to call it homework or anything along those lines because nobody likes homework. Think of it as fun activities that push you forward. Something fun. I don't know. We want you guys to really glean, find these things to be helpful for you so that you're moving forward. And so we put some thought into, where are people stuck? Where, how can we do that? And I think that this week will be really encouraging to you. Our goal is to give you hope. Our goal is to equip you and to empower you. So there are some really great things coming. And I think it will benefit you to take advantage of the tools that we're going to be presenting this week. So anyway, everything will be available immediately for replay. We know that not everybody can jump on at the whatever time it ends up being. It'll, like I said, it'll be late afternoon Pacific, probably early evening for Central and Eastern. But the replays will be available for you. All the resources will remain in the group for you. So while you can go at your own pace, I want to encourage you to try to at least spend some time this week to go through as we're doing it with you. It just will help you build more momentum. It's just more fun to do things in community. You can ask questions, will be available for you. And like Delia said, some of my favorite words, one of them is pivot. And I just, part of serving you guys well is to be able to see those needs where we might need to focus a little deeper. We are ready to do that and journey with you guys on this. So so today we're talking about what it is you know. And do you want me to pull up the worksheet or you want to do that later?
While you pull up the worksheet, I want to ask a question. This is not going to be valuable to you if you do not want to add an income stream, if you don't want to take a skill or something that you know and turn it into money. So this is really intended to help those people who are willing about doing it. Now, if you have a skill or if I have a skill and I do nothing with it, it's not going to make me money. So you have to commit and you have to ask that question of yourself. Am I willing to put time into it? A lot of times we don't accomplish the things we want to accomplish because we're not prioritizing commitment and we're not putting time into it. There's a saying I started using a long time ago. A mentor of mine was talking about it, and I just uh, took that phrase and I started using it. Businesses don't get stuck, business owners get stuck. So you have to be real and transparent with yourself. Sometimes I have lied to myself and I wasn't honest with myself. Like I wanted to add six figures of revenue to my business, but I was not really willing to do the work. This is going to work. I am convinced what we are sharing with you can work and can add money to your bottom line, but you have to be committed to actually take action and do it. So we'll talk about different things. But let's be honest, you are not going to make anything extra if you just listen to us and you don't take action. And I hope that the people listening to us this week, the people doing the exercises, realize that it's on you to make a change in your own life. There were times in my own life where I did not like where I was financially, but I didn't really want to change stuff either. So, it was on me that I was where in that space. However, um, there are people who just don't know what to do. They're not quite sure what steps to take. If you are that person and you just want to have a community to come around you and surround you and help you discover what the best next step is, then that's what the challenge is all about. So we want to challenge you, right? We don't want to plant a false expectation and just tell you, hey, you know what, we're going to share 5 things with you and you're going to make 6 figures by the end of the month, because that's not realistic. We want you to realize it's going to take some work. Is it going to be fun on the other side? I think so. I see work and business as being playful, fun, an adventure, and everything I do is intended to help those around me actually discover how much fun it is to be in business. Whether you're employee or in business, I hope that you're looking for a workspace or a business that is kind of fun for you, that leverages who you are, who God made you to be. So it's on you. I mean, we'll do our part and we'll share some very valuable things that we have discovered after working in for ourselves or with other people over the last 10 years. So we just chose a few important lessons and principles to share with you. But at the end of the day, it's on you to take action. If you don't plan on taking action, just don't jump on the calls. Don't waste your time. I don't want you to waste your time. I really want this to help those people who are willing to make a change in their lives. And I want you to imagine 12 months from now, where are you going to be? Are you going to be in a very different financial position than today? Do you want to be in a different financial position than you are today? If you want to be in a different financial position, you want to make more money, how would that look like for you? Because I want to you all who are watching, who are listening, if you find yourself making $1 million more in revenue on June 19th, 2024, you'll review your reports and stuff, and you see, oh, I made $1 million more in revenue this year. Would that make you excited or happy? Now, I'm going to throw in something there. What if the result of you making that money is you have lost your family because you've been working 20-hour days, and you haven't taken care of yourself, so you're having some health issues. So yeah, you have $1 million more in revenue to show people, but your health is at risk. Your family doesn't like you very much, and they're very upset with you. Would that make a difference? Most of us would probably say, I don't need the money. Like, family and health are more important. So keep the goal in mind, whatever your goal is. Right? We want to have a holistic view of our life and our business. Let's not forget that making money is not the end goal. Here is just a goal, a means to an end. So that's very important. So now, as we're looking at discovering your skill, your asset, Jenny's going to share with you a few questions, and then we'll work through it together. We'll take 3 or 4 minutes, and actually, I'll do the same thing. I'll try to answer the first thing that comes to mind. That's what we're asking you. Take 3 minutes to 4 minutes. We'll mute ourselves. Take 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Actually answer those questions ourselves, and then we'll come back and talk about them. So Jenny, you want to start?
Yeah, but here's the problem I'm having with technology, and I can't seem to share it. So what I did was I uploaded it into the group. I just did it as a post, and I can go through the questions and ask them, and we can take some pause that way as well. But this is already uploaded into the group. It's its own post. It should be the first post in the group right now. If you guys want to get the PDF, or you can just take notes, and I'll read through some of the questions. They're questions to get you thinking a little differently. And I love what Delia was saying, to really try to be honest with yourself. And honestly, sometimes we need other people to answer some of these questions with us. So if that's what you need, and I really encourage you this week to take the time to do that. Putting the work in now is going to pay off. It'll really pay off. Okay, so I apologize that I'm not able to share this, but like I said, it is the PDF is in the group already. So the first question is just thinking through, what is it? What do you know? And a lot of along those lines is that comes out in, like, what could you talk about without any notes? Do you know how to make sourdough? So even simple things like that. But what is it you already know? If something comes to mind, I would take some notes and write that down. And if not, we have more probing questions that we'll get to. Along those lines, what problem do you have a solution for? You might question, another way to word that would be, what do people ask you advice on? If people have a problem, they come to you for that. For what? how can you help people right now? And here's a couple sentences that are kind of a fill in the blank that might get you thinking a little differently. Blank needs to learn how to blank. And another one, some people have a hard time with blank. I'm going to show them how to blank. A couple other things to consider. What do you enjoy? What jobs have you held? Sometimes we forget to look back at the skills we gained, especially if you've been out of the job market for a while. But what jobs have you held? What have you experienced? What have you overcome? There's a lot of opportunity to serve people. We can get really excited about a problem that we've solved in our own lives. And we can find there's likely people who struggle with that same problem. And the solution that you applied for you can be helpful for other people. And you're just adding your story to that. And that can be really powerful. So that could be something like weight loss is a really easy example. There was a transformation for you. You were this way, you overcame something, and now you're this way. So what have you overcome? It also could be as simple. I've used this other example before of I didn't know 5 o'clock would come and I never knew what was for dinner. And I would be like, shoot, what do I do? You put a system together that allowed you to manage your meals for your family better. You've overcome, and now that's not a problem for you anymore. Okay, it could a huge spectrum of what could be a part of what it is that you've overcome. What's your education? What was your favorite subject in school? Another question I think is very telling is to go back and look and see what Facebook groups you're in. Those are things you're drawn to, usually. What do you enjoy talking about? What could you give a speech on without any notes? And what do people come to you for advice about? Those are other ways to ask the questions we already did. What do you do with your free time? What would you like to do with your free time? What do you dream about? There's a repeat on here. What have you overcome in your life? I think any of those questions will get you those wheels turning, hopefully. I find that the overcoming and the Facebook groups tend to give me the most information, I guess, that I'm looking for in relationship to this. But what did you notice? Go back, and if you need to look at this PDF, even after the video, go back and what is it that you noticed? What was there any trends? Anything that was kind of consistent? Your Facebook groups that you're a part of also have to do with, your skill set of your education or something you really enjoy or something, where are the overlaps with those things? What is it that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I want to give some examples. We're talking about what we know, what we've studied, what problems we have overcome as being starting points for building an income stream, right? Using that answer as the basis for the income stream. I was talking to someone who, I want to use an example that's not business related. I was actually talking to someone 3 days ago about a class I took, an emotional health class. It's something that I'm passionate about. I read a lot. I pay to be in a group where we go over a specific curriculums to learn how to be better at knowing myself. Because I believe if I know myself, then that actually makes me a person that can know God better. So that's part of my philosophy of life. There's a connection between, if there's a reality here, right?
Mhm.
The more I understand myself, the more I understand the reality. The reality impacts how I understand myself. There's like this connection between reality and self awareness. So that's part of my philosophy of life and my worldview. So I spend a lot of time learning about it. Well, I was telling a person, a guy that I haven't talked to in probably 6 months, because he had a question. How do I talk to my brother who is responding in this way? And then I responded to him a short paragraph on Facebook, a very simple thing, just what I've learned. And then he texted me. I'm sorry, he sent me a message on Facebook. I'm willing to pay you. Will you be willing to read this text message thread that I had with my relative and tell me what you think? I just want an honest opinion. He offered to pay me. I offered to do it for free. There's no way I would charge for it because that's not what I want to make money off. Of.
Mhm.
But he's a person that can help my business in so many ways. And I'm not doing it with the ulterior motive of having him help me. It's just something I'm passionate about, and I'm willing to pay money to help people go to these classes. I'm willing to fly to my friends who live in other states to help them work through some of these issues related to emotional health. So that's just a personal choice
Mhm.
I made. But he was willing today to pay me money, and I said, I don't want your money because I don't. Um, Something I know, very random, right? Now I'm surrounding myself with people who are resourceful, right? People who have money, they're resourceful. So that's why people offer to pay me. I had someone who knew about my Amazon background a little bit, and he said, "I'll pay you $500 an hour if you can help me figure this out." This was a guy who was working with attorneys. He uh, I'm trying to phrase what he does, like a defamation
Mhm.
witness expert. I don't even know if I said it correctly. But he knew I have some Amazon experience, and he wanted me to look at a couple of books that are on Amazon and tell him what I think about the value of those books on Amazon by using something like Keepa, right? The history of the books on Amazon for a while. I just saw the trend, like these books are actually not doing that great, or they're doing great. That's all I told him. I'm like, let's just look at the history of the product. And I got paid twice. I got paid close to $500. Um, and he just asked me very basic questions. It's something I know. Now, why do people pay me for that? One, again, I surround myself with people who want to invest in themselves, and I've paid a ton of money to be around these people as well. So I've met them in the right circles. So
Mhm.
that's important to know. But I'm also open about what I know and what I don't know. And then people come to me when they have questions about those things. So start to talk about what you know, right? That's a longer term play. So two examples. Now I'm going to share one more. I think it's a cool example. A local business here had access to some wholesale accounts, and I knew about it because I had a conversation with them. People I know, they're related to these, so we had conversations about it. And I kept saying, you should start selling wholesale on Amazon. And they were so busy with just running the day-to-day operations of this new business. They lost a lot of money when they launched the business because there were some issues with the building. And they kept saying, yeah, maybe, whatever. I know we should, but we don't have time. I said, I'll show you how to do it. Let's just do it together. And we ended up launching this brand. Uh, They had access to a wholesale account on several wholesale accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you can buy those items, ship them to Amazon, and you'll make money. So finally, I convinced them, and they did it. Do you know how much money they made over the last 3 years with this wholesale Amazon seller account? Close to $3 million in
That's
revenue,
awesome.
amazing profits. And guess what? I got a check. I'm not going to show you the check, but I got a check last night from that person because he's like, oh, I should pay you. I need to pay you some money. Um, you should. So I have a lot of examples of people who have used or leveraged my Amazon knowledge. I also know digital marketing because at
Mhm.
one point I was so mad at Amazon and I wanted to get away from Amazon. So I started learning digital marketing, building funnels, doing ads. And I still have some clients from that world. So that's also something I know how to build funnel. If someone has a course and they have students, I am convinced that I can go in and help that person increase how much money they make from their students, how much more the students can get from the course by just doing a couple of really small things. I have developed a system by working with people that is very, very simple, and I know that usually, if the course is good and they're attracting the right types of students, I can help the students get more from the course, and I can help the course owner get more from the students because there are people who are always willing to pay you for what you have. They don't want to
Mhm.
go through the course and do it themselves.
Mhm.
I have a friend who wrote a book on selling, and he was tired of having to answer people's questions about how do you build a sales team. So he said, I'm going to put it into a book because I'm just tired of it. So
Mhm.
he wrote it, and people started buying his book, and then people would come to him and say, Eric, I need your help to build my sales team. And he got way more clients from that book, even though that was not his initial point or goal. And Eric, he's a really funny guy. I met through my business acquisition mastermind, and he keeps getting all of these clients come to him and ask him because they said, we read the book and we know that you know what you're talking about, so why don't you do it for us? And his initial response was, you have everything, like I gave you
Mhm.
everything in the book, why would you pay me? It makes no
Mhm.
sense. They said, we don't want to do it, we want you to do it. And he keeps getting paid, and he actually made about 12 deals in the last year, people paying him to help them build their sales team. Right, those are simple examples. I
Mhm.
gave you some personal examples. Jenny, you want to share an example?
Yeah, and actually, I want to comment on what you were saying. That I love that he had a book that we talk about. I've talked a lot about. There's three different categories that you can generate income from: what you know or your skills, and one is a do-it-yourself. So your clients are do-it-yourselfers. Those are the people who are going to read the book and take action. There's the done with you, and those are the people who want you to help them a little bit more. And then there's the done for you, and those are the people who want you to do it for them. Not everybody's wired like you are. For me, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I will do it myself until I'm blue in the face, and then I'll finally go, okay, fine, I need help, or fine, I'll have somebody do it for me. But my default is to start at the do it yourself. That's where I start. So if you have a book, I'll read the book and try to figure it out. That's the kind of customer I am. But there's other customers too. There are people who want to just skip all of that, and they're probably much wiser than I am. And they go straight to, this isn't in my wheelhouse. I don't want to know this. I don't need to know this. I would rather have somebody do it for me. So there's opportunity. It's all the same content. It's all the same skill. It's just offered differently depending on the needs of the customer. So I love that example. A couple of examples that kind of came to my mind were one, I mean, a lot of people know this story, but with Ryan Rieger, I don't know, 7 years ago or something, he had come to me. He had just written Private Label the Easy Way and said, hey, can you help me turn this into a course? And that's what I had been working with people on. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And I didn't charge him anything for it. We partnered together to create that course, and it was a profit share on the back end. And within the first year, we were over 6 figures. So, and we learned a lot in that process that we could help other people, not just about private label, but even the whole, just the way that we were teaching. That Do It Yourself is the book that he had. The course was a Done With You. And we just had a lot of learned a lot about how to serve people and help them move into action. So that's one example of just, actually, I didn't even have the knowledge. I had eBay and Amazon knowledge, but I not private label at all. And he's like, when he told me that, I was thinking private label rights. I'm like, what do you mean private label? So he really educated me on all of that. And we started getting into that a little bit with our Amazon business. But I was able to still help him with a book I knew nothing about. And that generated some significant income for us. Another thing, example just with my own, and again, this is around, I don't know if I want to, I'll just share this one real quickly, and then I'll share one example that's not related to Amazon, because I know not everybody here is Amazon related or e-commerce, although the majority of you, I think, are. Let's see, 12 years ago, I think, 10 to 12 years ago, I had realized that I was spending too much time on my my business. Honestly, it was, I had younger kids, and it really convicted me that I didn't want them to remember me always being on my computer. And so we had moved, and I had decided I'm just really going to pull back. And I did. I pulled back a lot and really was focusing on the kids. And then during that time, my husband got laid off, and I didn't do anything for a while. And then I did jump back in, because I felt like, I have these tools, and I know I can use them to help our situation right now. And so, so this was about 12 years ago. And what I ended up doing was Facebook had just started having Facebook groups, and we were in a position, it was really tight financially. I had really pulled back and wasn't really doing anything other than my holiday toy guide. And so we were in a real kind of a desperate place financially at this point. He had been unemployed for 6 months, and our mortgage was due. And I was like, I've got to do something. And so I came up with this idea to use Facebook groups to bring people together around a niche for Amazon sellers. At the time, this made sense. I don't think this makes as much sense now. So I called them private niche groups. Some of you might have even been in those. And I pulled in other experts. So we had a toy group, since that was kind of my wheelhouse to start with. And I partnered with somebody else who was a big Amazon seller. And we built out these private niche groups. And we, I don't remember what we charged, $100 or 150 for 3 months. You were in this group, and there were other people who were establishing themselves as experts. And overnight, as soon as we promoted those, we were set for the next 3 months financially. It just completely, it was an idea. We put it into action within a month, and literally overnight, our financial situation just turned completely around. And it was just, I had the tools. I wasn't using them as much because I was focused on my family. And, but then I was able to pull on those and find other people to partner with. Again, that community is so key. And we turned things around and generated some significant income very quickly. Another thing, just wanted to share an example. Some of you guys went to the Proven Conference last year, and Kevin Ramsby was the keynote there. I think he was no, there was another keynote. He did like the worship night. I don't know. He spoke a couple times, but you guys might know him as he's a friend of Jim Cockrum's. He's a friend of mine now too. And I forget how long ago it was, but his home was broken into in Detroit, and he was stabbed over 37 times and left for dead. He survived that and has an incredible story of forgiveness. And so he has been working to tell that story in different ways, in as many ways as he can, to reach as many people as he can, because it's a very important story that he has to share. And so we've just finished, actually, it's not quite published. It will be published this week, a workbook that goes with a video series that he has done. And that video series, we didn't have the workbook completely published, but we had the rough. So he printed copies, got them spiral bound, went to prisons, and was speaking there. They brought the videos there. I don't know the exact numbers, but in a 2-week period, this video series has gotten into well over 100 prisons. I'm thinking the number's like 300 and something. Hundreds of thousands of prisoners have watched this. He's getting letters every day from people who are impacted by his story and what he has overcome, that he could forgive somebody that has hurt him and his family so deeply. That's that. I love that example. Now, is he monetizing on it? That's not his big goal. It is going to be generating income for him, but it's under a nonprofit. His goal is to have that reach, to get this message out as far as he can, and very quickly he's able to do that simply because he decided to show up and share his story of what has happened to him and how that's impacted his life, but also just how he has learned to forgive. And really, it's based on the gospel for how he's been forgiven. So anyway, that's another example. He's building now. He totally has this vision to have masterminds to help churches, share this content. And it's just it's the same story. It's the same program. It's just going to be developed out into different formats to reach different people, but also very powerful.
Yeah, so all these examples, right, show you how you can take something, their example of in our lives, people we know. And for most of us, right, we took a skill, we took something we had, and we turned it into a valuable asset that can be monetized. Now, someone who is doing it for a nonprofit, they can still charge people. When I go on retreats that are religious retreats with my church, I pay. So you can still get paid. You might not do it for the financial reason,
Right.
and you might be willing to charge a lot less, but you can still monetize these things. We're focusing on business stuff because that's our experience. I have monetized knowledge in the past, and I'm building a component of our business that is monetizing knowledge, because I know that if I teach others how to make money and do cool things and change their families' future through the income they're able to bring, then that will bring in my network, within my network, people that I'd love to partner with. I have had bad partnerships, so I'm not saying that every partnership you make is going to turn out great, but I have the wisdom now to review and analyze partnerships. So most of my partnerships are very positive and are profitable. And I want to do things with partnerships. The vision I have for my business is so big that it's not possible for me to do it in my own strength by myself. So I am teaching, and I'm willing to share as much as I can with other people, because I know that out of the hundreds of people that hear me speak, there will be a few that will become business partners. So that's my selfish reason, right? My evil reason for this.
Your plan to take over the world.
So I'm joking, but there's that. I have some amazing business partners, and I can't wait to see, for us to get to the other side where we're doing 6, 7, 8, 9 figures together. We've done 6, 7 figures in the past. I haven't gotten to 8 figures with any of the businesses I have yet, but that's the goal for the next 3 years. So you guys can be part of that story if you want to. Anyway, going back to these examples, we are sharing examples, and you might ask yourself, how is that benefiting me? Why would that even matter? The reason we are sharing these examples, the reason we're doing this challenge, is because if you know what's possible, that's going to spark something within you, and it's going to help you find the solution. Now, you might not choose the right thing the first time. You might experiment with different ideas, but we want you to know what's possible. And I have the tendency to stay away from sharing numbers in terms of financials, because I don't want people to think, oh, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make 7 figures this year. I do have 7-figure businesses, and I know it's possible to, off of your knowledge, to build a 7-figure business. I don't want to plant that idea as like, oh, you have to get there, and if you don't get there, you're a failure. Some of us might want to just have an extra six-figure income stream, right? We just want to have this side hustle or income stream that's generating an extra 100K to, I don't know, 250K. Whatever your income goal is, it doesn't matter. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to come up with this goal. What is your income goal for this year? If you're committed, right? We started by saying you have to be committed. And if you are committed, if you are one of those people who is committed, you're watching this and you want to build this extra income stream, put a number on it. That doesn't mean that if you don't hit it, you're a failure. It just means you have a direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? If you are saying, let's just take a number that's totally doable with what we're talking about, $125,000 in revenue this year. I'm not saying profit. I know that with a content-based business, half of it could be profit or 75% could be
Mm-hmm.
profit. If you're doing any other type of business, maybe 25% is profit. But let's just say revenue, $125,000 in revenue this year. Let's assume that's your goal or my goal. If I want to work part-time to build this, that means 1,000 hours this year. Okay, so 125,000 is my income goal. I'm using
Mm-hmm.
that as an example. And usually 2,080 hours is full-time work. A person that works full-time is going to work 2,080 hours. I don't ever want to work full-time. So I'm going to say, let's assume I'm working part-time to build this. That means about 1,000 hours. That means if I'm making 125,000 per year and I'm working 1,000 hours in this business, I have to make $125 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, $125 per hour. Now, if I am doing customer support, something I can pay someone $12 to do, would that get me close to my income goal? If I am packing boxes, I'm working in my Amazon business and I'm packing boxes. That's something I can pay someone.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what state you're in. And in my state, I have to pay people $15 to $18 an hour. I'm in California, and I still do it. I have some people working here, and we're paying them a lot more than what we're paying our employees in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say $15 an hour. If I need to make $125 per hour, but I'm doing stuff that's worth $15 an hour, will I be able to make my income goal? Probably not. Now, you can do things that you can leverage stuff, right? If you sell online, you can ship stuff to Amazon. Amazon's gonna fulfill your orders, so you don't actually have to work every hour. But if you want to get to $125,000 in revenue per year, and you are plan on working $1,000, 1,000 hours in your business, you have to focus on the high
Mm-hmm.
value activities. And hopefully, this is going to lead to a mindset shift,
Mm-hmm.
and that's possible. We're here to tell you it's possible. I have been paid $500 an hour. I have been right now. If I talk to a business on how they can exit or how they can double their income, I charge $5,000 to $10,000 per session. I don't even do $500 an hour because that's too low for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you price yourself, it's going to tell people how much you value your time.
Mm-hmm.
We can always make more money. It might not feel like it right now for you, but we can always make more money. We cannot get more hours in the day. So I want to value my time well. And I do often I don't charge people for helping them, but that's a personal decision because I have a number of hours I devote to helping people. But if I am working on something like business stuff, if I am consulting for Amazon, e-commerce, a course creator who wants to double their revenue this year, I'm going to charge a lot of money. You know
Mm-hmm.
why? Because when I shared my knowledge and I didn't charge, people didn't do anything with it.
Yep.
But when people pay me $500 to $5,000 and they ask me questions, they take seriously what I say. So I know I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste their time. So if I'm willing to share with them and not charge them, I know they're not going to do anything. So I wasted my time and I wasted their time. So that's why I charge, which is a separate different thing. But let's going back to income goal. What is your income goal? Are you willing to be courageous and brave and put that income goal in the Facebook group? Because what we'd like you to do is to start working towards making that possible. We're going to give you skills and knowledge and a pathway that you can take, and you can do it by yourself. Like, you can just take the information we're giving you. We are going to give you enough things that you can take it and just run with it and make some money. Or you can partner with us and you can learn from us. Whatever you want to do, we're going to give you quite a few useful tools this week.
Mm-hmm.
You can take it and you can make money with that. Are you willing to be brave enough and share that income goal, th- the side income, or that second income stream that you want to build this year using this knowledge? Um, I challenge you, if you're brave enough. I know that's a big thing to ask. Share it in a group, and then we'll work together over the next few days to give you more tools and to give you more information so that you can take it, start applying it, and start making money. So that's my challenge for all of you. And I think we're over the allotted time frame for this call. Um, but I hope this encourages you. I guess I'll end with this. Jenny, we were talking, what would help people achieve their income goal? And we were saying, right after our conversation, we realized, okay, if people know what's possible, they can do it. I thought there was a point when I didn't have much knowledge about business, and I thought what I know is going to make me money. And that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. Knowing what's possible will make you a lot more money. And let me give you an example. 4 years ago, I did not know that you could buy a business with very little money out of pocket or no money out of
Mm-hmm.
pocket. But today, I am the owner of a business we bought with very little out of pocket. I mean, it's probably a big amount for other people who don't have a business, but it was not a lot. We were able to buy a seven-figure business by putting down a small amount of money, but I didn't know that was possible 4 years
Yeah.
ago. Now I know it is. And now I'm doing more of those deals and I'm looking for more businesses. So knowing what's possible can completely change your financial situation. And that's part of why we're doing the challenge. So I'm hoping that my examples, Jenny's examples, what we're saying here will encourage you to make a commitment to yourself. Because if you don't, you'll be in the same spot on June 19th, 2024. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to be in the same financial spot or in a worst off situation. We
Yeah.
want you to achieve that goal. If you're making that commitment, we want to give you some of the tools and resources that you can use to make it happen.
Love it. Okay, we're going to stop. But one thing, guys, you had that kind of a theme that showed up in one of the posts where I listed out characteristics of an entrepreneur was people, you're afraid, and we're all afraid. That's part of being a risk taker. There's a fear, but that's one thing you can do. You can change. You might not be able to take the fear away, but you can still act with it there. So you can still take action. So I had and where she left that. We want to help you. So be brave and post what is your income goal. And it might be low. It might be something that you feel like is way out of reach, but that start is you start by even just putting words to it, you will start to recognize, wait a minute, this is possible. This is possible, or I'm going to hope it's possible because I'm going to shoot for that. And that's the beginning of that mind shift. So awesome. I'm going to post the content for the worksheets and stuff for tomorrow. And I'll title everything day 1 or day 2 so that you guys know. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll do a video. So tomorrow's the worksheet that the worksheet I'm going to post is about what's holding you back. And so I would encourage you to take some time to go look over that and apply that. And we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video or sometime around the same time. I'll also say when we're going to go live in the morning. So let me reword that. In the morning, we will post when we're going to be live later that day. So it'll probably be around the same afternoon, evening time. All right. Thank you so much, Delia. Appreciate your wisdom. And thank you guys for jumping on. And we will see you in the group and definitely see you also tomorrow on the live session. All right. Bye, guys.